How's it going, Dopamon fans? If you've been following along, you know we're talking about the national hockey team rosters for the 2022 Olympics in Beijing. And today we've gotten to predicting the Czech Republic. If you haven't already, go check out our other videos we've done on Canada, Sweden, Finland, Russia, and Germany. A few names have already been announced. You got Ondrej Palat, David Pastrnak, and Jakub Voracek already. All three wingers.
Yeah, and as always, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more dope hockey content, and let us know your picks for this team or anyone we missed in the comment section down below. Without further ado, goaltenders.
I'll start. We get Peter Mrazek, David Riddick, and Pavel Francouz.
Yeah,
I think this is a pretty obvious one. There are only three Czech goaltenders.
yeah, these are
Almost.
obvious picks. Who starts is anyone's idea. I guess it's just whoever's hot at the time. Mrazek and Francouz, I believe, are hurt right now, but we're assuming that by February they'll be fine. Mrazek's in very short term. Um, yeah, good little goaltending group. Mrazek has a weird knack of getting really hot for international hockey.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, just like the amount of like wild 50 save performances he's had as a member of the Czech Republic international teams in his career, uh, specifically in the World Juniors a few years ago, or a decade ago now. Um, I think he beat the Americans. I think that
He
year.
did alone. Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
He could have
just him.
stole it.
So he could very well be our starting goalie. For our defensemen, first pair we got Michael Kempney and Philip Hronek. Hronek is a guy who is kind of coming up as one of the best Czech defenders that this team could bring. He doesn't get a lot of attention right now because he's in a rebuilding Detroit Red Wings
Mhm.
team and kind of gets outshined by Moritz Seider, especially this year so far. But very solid guy, Michael Kempney. A lot of international experience, I believe, as well, and a veteran guy to have on that top line.
Yeah, on Hronik, yeah, his does get overshadowed by Moritz Seider, who we have, of course, in Germany. He was named to the roster.
Yeah.
For our second D pairing, we have Libor Hayek and Radko Goudas. And I like having Goudas here. I think he's a guy with there's a lot of polarizing opinions about him, but on an international level, I think he could really step up for a few games. Certainly against the lower tier teams, he's going to shine, but against the better teams, the top tier teams like Canada and the United States, he plays against them, checking against them fairly often, almost every night. So I like him here.
Yeah, he's a hard guy to play against, and he plays a style of game that is very unique to defensemen nowadays. And you need that kind of presence sometimes, and around the net and in the corners, he's that guy that'll do it for you for sure. Third pair, we chose Radim Simic and Jan Ruta. Jan Ruta has a lot of experience with Tampa Bay Lightning, big game situations, won back-to-back cups. And Simic as well, very very good player. Both of these guys, we'll talk about our extras. I think the top six on defense is pretty set. I don't see either one
Hmm.
of our extra guys kicking any one of these guys out of it.
Nope.
Um, but line combinations may be different for what they actually are. But I like this top six.
So do I. I think we fairly agreed on this one pretty quick.
Yeah,
And our fourth pair, we have Jacobs Borrell and Roman Polak. And as an Ottawa fan, Zboril was Thomas Chabot's partner, and it was really interesting seeing Boston pick Zboril over Chabot. I think that was the wrong choice, and it's clearly shown that Chabot's grown into a top two D, while Zboril really hasn't. But this year, I feel like he's kind of shown that maybe there is an NHL upside. Maybe if he pulls something together, he could maybe slip in there, but otherwise. Yeah, I don't think so. And Roman Polak, he's every you ever played an NHL game, he's been your seventh D at some point. So that's
Yeah, it's a
Be
good,
a seventh D on this team too, you know.
yeah, veteran guy. Uh, yeah, I always love bringing up the fact that Boston screwed up those 3 picks in a row, but
Hmm.
we're we're not here to talk about that, even though I love talking about that as a Leafs fan. Anyway, our top line for the Czech Republic right now consists of 2 guys that are already named, but Ondrej Palat, Thomas Hertl, and David Pastrnak. Pasta, elite shooter. Hertl, Palat. This is a really good line for a team that is not expected to contend for a medal.
Yeah.
But if they do, it'll be because of these 3 guys right here.
Hmm. Yeah, Pastrnak brings incredible goal scoring. Thomas Hertl so fast,
Yeah.
and Palat, he's got a lot of experience complementing top line scorers,
Yeah.
and he brings a huge element to his game that neither Hurdle nor Pasternak has, and I think that like you said, against that top tier teams is just gonna this is really gonna carry them, this line.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so for line two we have Jakub Vrana, David Krejci, and Jakub Voracek, who was also named the third person named.
Yeah.
And I think that it really kind of shows that there's no, not, after Voracek, the elite talent's really kind of dying off. Get some, younger talent coming out of the Czech Republic, but there's like an era, of dying of older players that just aren't as that don't have the elite talent, and I think this is where it shows. David Krejci, of course, isn't playing. He's playing over in the Czech league, right?
Yep.
Back home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He went
and
back home to play, but still very, very good player, and he could play in the
mhm,
NHL if he wanted to. He went over there for his family. So
yeah, for his family.
yeah. This team, I like the way that Czech Republic has built their teams in the last couple of years because they don't have the elite level guys that, you know, Team Canada is just a bunch of first lines. Czech Republic, they very much have to really build their team like a regular NHL team. Like they have their top scorers, they have their more defensive guys, they have their role players. Like they build their team that way instead of just having firepower after firepower after firepower. And I really like the way that they can build this team. We'll talk about the third line now is Dom Kubalik, Radek Faksa, and Filip Zadina. Faksa is having an incredible start to his year. A few years ago was one of the best defensive centers in the NHL, and if he can regain that kind of season after the last 2 kind of broken ones, being him on the third line with a guy like Kubalik and Zadina would be a very, very good third line for Czech Republic.
Hmm. Yeah, being able to, to counter the top tier teams with Faxa on the third line, that's pretty hard to do as, one of the more B tier teams like the Czech Republic is. And I like Zadina here. I think this is like a year for him to really show offensively, and like that, that to give the Czech Republic the opportunity to maybe even roll 4 lines.
Yeah.
And speaking of the fourth line, we have Pavel Zacha on the left, Philip Hedl down the middle, and on the right, Ondrej Kasha. Uh, I think Hedl's pretty good too. He's getting a huge chance in New York with Ryan Strome out right now to play top center minutes. I've liked Pavel Zacha for a while. Hasn't quite hit his stride until recently as a scorer. And Kasha, obviously, he brings a two-way game, certain elements that both of these guys do, but a unique one that I think is going to complement them really well.
Yeah, big speed game from Kasha that we've seen so far. Yeah. And our extra guys, and there's a name, I don't know if anyone has realized he's not here. I'm a huge fan of him. We have him as one of our extras, is Martin Necas, and Michael Frolik is our other guy. Martin Necas, to me, is like borderline top 6, and we were having a hard time placing him in this lineup. We really like all these guys, on our bottom 6, but we don't know who's going to play together. Necas just ended up being the odd man out for us when we were making these videos. But he had 41 points in 53 games last year for Carolina, and 5 and 11 in the playoffs. Great player, can play the right wing. So, like, does he bump Zadina off that line with Faksa? Does he sneak in through, does Kasha get hurt? there's a lot of question marks. I think Natchez could be the guy that can play anywhere in this lineup if he needs to.
Yeah, and although that's where the only place where we really disagreed here.
And
There's a few other names, Thomas Nosek, Martin Ferk, that could also be on this roster.
yeah,
Foley.
and David Kampf in Toronto plays with Kasha, obviously on the third line in Toronto. Has had a great start to his year defensively. Maybe they take a guy like him to be a face-off power play or penalty kill guy. I don't know. A lot of guys that could be on this team for sure that we may have missed. So if we missed anybody, if you think for sure that Natchez is going to be on the second line instead of Voracek or something like that, let us know. Chirp us in the comment section, and that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel for more dope hockey content, and that's all for this one. Peace.